Brethren, we recognize that we had a very long but very interesting day, and we're about to hear our final presentation for today. This presentation is entitled Ceremony of Initiation. Now, during the course of today's presentations, we touched a bit on Entered Apprentice and somewhat on initiation. Brother Isaacs is going to take us through a presentation which focuses on that individual who is entering the Masonic fraternity for the first time. What is expected? Brother Isaacs.
Thank you very much, Brother Bentek. When we look at the word initiate, we need to appreciate that it is of Greek origin, and it signifies a person who has made a new beginning. Now, since the era of the Romans, at least the word initiation has been employed to mean the admission into the mysteries. Now, the term admission into the mysteries is actually a term which the Europeans copied from the ancient Africans in Kemet. Now, the Europeans did not understand the system in Kemet, and so to them it was a mystery, so they referred to it as the mystery system. The same way the writings of the Africans, they couldn't write, and so they referred to it as hieroglyphics, meaning higher word. So this is the way the Europeans tend to label things that they don't understand. So I'm saying that since the era of the Romans, the word initiation has meant to mean the admission into the mysteries. Now, almost every Roman, even the emperors, were initiated into the mysteries, at least in the first degree. Every Roman emperor. Now, the rites usually took place in Athens, so the Romans had to leave Rome and go to Greece, to Athens, to be initiated. However, it was very difficult for the Romans to have the degree transferred from Athens to Rome. Caesar Augustus, he was initiated in 21 BC. Claudius, he's the one which attempted to move it to Rome, but he was unsuccessful. The Emperor Hadrian, who was initiated in 125 AD. In fact, after 4 years, he received the third degree. In fact, he's the only Roman emperor that actually received the third degree. All the other Roman emperors only got the first degree. The Emperor Nero, he was denied. Okay? Initiation into the mysteries because of his murders and other crimes which he committed. So he was never admitted into Freemasonry. It's interesting to note that Socrates was the only Athenian who did not apply for initiation. And for this action, he was often reproached. But what they didn't know that Socrates was already initiated in Kemet. He was initiated in the Grand Lodge at Luxor. So there was no need for him to be initiated again. And he got the full rights, where others only got the half rights. Now, in ancient Kemet, 360 degrees were given. So you're talking about coming a full circle. That is how many degrees were conferred upon the individual. Now, In ancient Persia, the initiate was first subjected to a test of his sincerity and also his fitness, because he was confined for several months in utter solitude, in darkness, and in silence in a subterranean cave. And at the end of 50 days, that was concluded. Now, when he was finally admitted into the mysteries, he was led to a dangerous precipice from which he felt his way into a gloomy cavern. Think about LUB, those who went there. So this is what's going on in Persia. A gloomy cavern where he was confronted by hideous objects made by his brethren. And after enduring several torments, they even threw snakes into his bosom, the candidate took the oath of the order and bowed before the great architect of the universe in the east. So it's not something that you just come and you walk in and you got it like that. It wasn't like that. Now, the first Masonic ceremonies in Europe consisted of one very simple rite. However, it was not until the second decade of the 18th century that what, in a modern sense, are called degrees were known. In fact, the fellowcraft and the Master Mason degrees, they were just simple honorary distinctions accorded to certain members of the craft. Now, when these degrees were conferred, no other ceremonies or rituals were employed. Now, in Scotland, drawing on some of the experiences going back to the 16th century, they began to include some of the rituals in the lodges. Now, one of the things which the initiated had to do was to draw the lodge. And you drew the lodge on the floor. And so on the floor, he was given chalk, and this chalk, he drew a design of the lodge. This is the early representation of the tracing board. This is where the tracing board originated from. What is referred to as drawing the lodge, you drew it on the floor. And after that, the initiate would then have to get a cloth, a bucket of water, and clean the floor. You never left it, clean it up. Now, today we use tracing boards. Now, let us consider the ceremonies which are practiced today and explain for ourselves, as far as it is possible, the meaning of the various rites. Many of which have undoubtedly been handed down through the centuries, but how many of us have really understood the vital and fundamental truths which they symbolize? Now, at the initiation, the candidate first comes within the precincts of the lodge. The manner of his preparation for entrance typifies a state peculiar to his inward position as one who has not been initiated. The particulars of initiation are very closely to the process of birth into the physical world, the new light which illuminates the world of the lodge. So this initiation is actually representing this individual coming out from the womb into the real world, which is the lodge. In addition, he is penetrated by a fresh experience, seeing things as never presented to him before, as of course he assumes his new vocation. Initiation thus opens the eyes of the candidate to a representation of a new world, of which the lodge is a symbol. At any initiatory ceremony, the most important consideration is the impression made upon the candidate at the time of his entrance. His mental condition is usually favorable, and with good degree work, his interest is assured. But we need to keep in mind that his feelings are mingled. There's dread, of course, coupled with pride and bravery of having survived the initiation. Now, Masonic initiation is intended to be a profound experience, as a result of which the candidate should become a new man. He should acquire a new range of thought, a new feeling about mankind, a new idea of God, a new passion for brotherhood, a new generosity and charity. The whole purpose of what is done and said is to bring about such a transformation. If the initiation does not accomplish this, it is a failure. If it does accomplish it, that fact alone compensates for all elaboration and expense necessary. In many cases, where the effect of initiation is poor, it is due to the carelessness of the lodge. The ritual cannot be properly administered in a mechanical way, and the candidate is entitled to a real presentation of the degree with thought and expression behind it. Keep in mind that a successful initiation, being really a new birth, this is what a successful initiation is. It is a new birth. The importance of a proper impression being made on the candidate at his first reception by a Masonic lodge can hardly be overestimated, as his entire idea of the institution is formed at this time. Initiation teaches that the East, symbolic of wisdom, healing, and life, can only be approached in an orderly manner and according to certain fixed laws. Brethren, the kingdom of light cannot be entered capriciously. And so therefore, when we have a new initiate, it is important that the working must be of such to instill a new passion for brotherhood, as I said, a new generosity and a new character. Just how it should be, the ceremony of initiation. Thank you for listening.